Episode 5.
Yes, sir.
We're going right into it from episode 4.
Yeah, we are.
We did leave a little cliffhanger.
A little guy.
I don't know if personally I hate when shows do that, but it's also kind of exciting.
Back. But you're back, and we're happy you're back.
By the way, real quick before we jump into it, have you watched the Beast Games, Mr. Beast's thing on?
I know nothing about him.
So I only know a lot about him because he's an unbelievable entrepreneur, and I love reading entrepreneur and listening to stories like that. So I ended up watching this just out of I wanted to see the production side of it, dude.
This is like they got a 1,000 influencers. It's like challenges.
No, not influencers, just 1,000 people, and it's a game show. But the total prize is $5 million. But on top of that, he gives away just $500,000 in a mini challenge. He just gave away an island for 1.8 mil. It's unbelievable. And so we were talking about cliffhangers. Season 1, I just got through. I ripped it through my long bike rides, and I'm stuck. I hate that it's a cliffhanger, but it's also kind of exciting.
Wait, what do you mean? No one won at the end of season 1?
No, we're jumping into season 2 now because they just got off the island. And now they're going into the whole. There's I think 200 people.
Dude,
left
can we just say $5 million? Dude, just break me off $50,000.
Bro, if you haven't watched it,
just give me $50,000.
Yeah, but so watch it because there's mini challenges where he goes to people and say you can leave right now for $50,000. Leave right now for $50,000. He'll hand them to
you
it.
Taking it?
It depends on where I'm at in the game. I don't know, dude. He is manipulating these people's brains in such a fascinating way. Highly recommend it.
Listen, you throw that in front of my face, I'm taking it.
Cliffhanger.
Why do you think I do this podcast? You pay
I am waiting for that season to come out because, dude, I'm telling you, he's just manipulating these people in such a wild way.
Speaking of money, we want to talk about our sponsor.
Oh,
got a sponsor.
We got a sponsor. It took 5 episodes.
You got to pay the big guy.
It took 5 episodes. Since
I don't know how I tee this up.
Tee it up. Just throw it out there. Episode 5, sponsor.
Proud to be sponsored by Mano Wellness.
Shout out.
They paid for these mics. They paid for these Walmart chairs. Marshalls. Ross. They paid for the sign. They paid for the camera. Shout out Mano Wellness.
Mano Wellness. Quick little brief. I guess we should probably read the ad.
Yeah, I told them last episode I can't read, so you can.
So quick little Mano Wellness ad. It's a complete coaching platform. So whether you are a client, someone who's looking to get healthier, or you're a coach, someone who is looking to coach, we are a platform that provides both. So we bring on coaches that coach in their niche, that we help build their own little coaching business while helping a lot of people get healthier. And it's awesome. We also do in-person training if you're in the Philadelphia area, trying to do a lot of in-person events and communities.
Enhance the human. I would say I'm a Mano Wellness client, but I know multiple people who have joined the program, including some of my loved ones, and I think she would say it's had a profound thing in reaching her goals. It's been a profound step that she's taken. Because she had goals and didn't know how to accomplish them physically, mentally, professionally, and I think it's been awesome for her.
You just went off script.
Working with the coaches there, I went off script, but it's been really good. So I'm actually super proud of her. I'm speaking about my mother, and she's a stud.
She's the best.
She's an absolute killer. But I really do appreciate you guys there too, because I think it's done really well for her, and she's a beast.
Appreciate that. You are, because you're in the Mano Wellness community.
Correct.
So we have a community membership that you can join. $9 a month, 2 cups of coffee, just unlimited wellness
God,
resources.
I can't stop thinking about my mom. I love my mom.
I love her too. She's the best.
Nah,
she's the best.
We sat there, dude. She bring up Harry Potter with her. She'll love you for the rest of your life.
Yeah, but she'll get mad at me because I know nothing.
We sat there last night. Me and her. I went home last night. We watched 3 movies of Harry Potter, which are 2 hours long each. And she might have seen each movie 100 times. And she looks over. She's like, "You watching?" I'm like, "Yeah, Mom. How many times have you seen this?" She's like, "I don't know, 100, but I'm happy you're here." I'm like, I appreciate that.
You know the extent of Harry Potter I know?
What?
I went on the ride in Disney.
I've never been.
It was a good.
I heard it's sick. I love Harry Potter. I wouldn't say I'm as deep as my mom, but
I know nothing.
big fan.
People might realize how uncultured I am when it comes to like movies and stuff like that.
Yeah, I'm not great with it either. But let's jump in.
Jump into episode
right.
5, morning routine.
Yeah, episode 4, we left off with goal setting and creating micro habits, and we kind of left you on a hanger on morning routines.
Because I did nighttime.
Yeah,
I
you
mentioned
did.
nighttime.
Yeah, you mentioned nighttime. But I really wanted to. I asked you to do this episode because I wanted to learn more about your morning routines. It's something that I struggle with. You want to hear the extent of my morning routine? I wake up, I check my phone, I hop in the shower, I get dressed, and I leave for work, and then I get right into my day. And some days it's great, but it's not consistent in the sense that some days I get to work and I'm like, all right. Like, I didn't actually get the time to, like, take a deep breath and, like, tackle my day and go through things. So I'm not consistent by any means, and I think there's a better one out there. So I want to pick your brain on it. We haven't talked about this yet.
So the better one out there is the one that you're going to evolve into. It's the one that you're going to make better. And that's, like, the biggest, most important thing for me is that, like, this is my morning routine right now that I'll go through. But
Gotcha.
it has completely, from when I was in grad school, you just got a new job, right?
Yeah.
Your morning routine is now going to change even more, right?
That's
'Cause
true.
you
I'm
have a
figuring
different
it out.
So you got to adapt your morning routine based off your lifestyle. The biggest people that don't stick to a morning routine are the ones that don't adapt it. You got to change your morning routine so that you can actually stick to something.
Dude, and wrapping it all up real quick for you, just because this is where my head goes, like, Harry Potter, the chosen one, I wonder if he had a morning routine. Something to think about. Something to think about.
I don't even know who that is. So I can't tell you.
Harry Potter,
No, you said something else.
the chosen one.
Is that what they call him?
That's what he said in, like, the movie I was watching last night.
Give me one of those brooms. Dude. That'd be sick.
Yeah, it would be sick. But you think he had a routine? You can't be that successful without a routine.
I don't know.
He's out here killing people.
Everyone has a routine.
Right.
It's just whether it's a good one.
Is it a good one? Yeah.
If it helps it. But
All right, either way. hit me.
the most important thing about the morning routine, for me at least, and I think everyone will be able to connect with this, is you can't get out of bed and jump straight into your day. Because
That's what I do.
We talked about micro habits. Let me talk about micro stressors. What most people do when they start their day is, first thing they do, wake up to an alarm that goes,
Oh, the worst.
micro stressor number 1.
Dude,
right?
if that alarm goes off during the day, I have like PTSD.
Yeah, right,
I'm
so-
like, why would you do that?
And then most people jump right out of bed, right? They didn't plan the day before, which is why that I was talking about the nighttime routine was
Yeah.
so important. So they don't really know what they have coming up for the day.
Right.
They jump in the shower, do whatever they have to do. They're maybe even late because they snooze it a little bit, and then they have to jump
I
straight.
love that snooze button.
And then they gotta jump straight in the car, go right to work, and then they're jumping into work where they don't have anything set up, and
Why are you
you're-
describing me right now?
you're just accumulating stress, and the main, because I want to paint the picture of why my morning routine is so important for me, is because we cannot start the day with stress. It is right away what we're doing, even with that alarm. You're raising your heart rate from the lowest point. Your heart rate is when you sleep. That's your resting heart rate, and you are going from your resting heart rate to an active heart rate instantly. Not good. We don't want to do that. We want to treat ourselves. So the why behind the morning routine is so that we don't start with these little micro stressors that are going to affect our chronic stress.
So how do I get up?
So, couple things. One, one of the biggest changes I made was actually I don't use that freaking iPhone alarm.
How?
So I use my Garmin. My Garmin has a vibration wake up, and it's been game changer.
You gotta show me how to do that.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's you click one button and it says clocks at the top.
No,
Actually,
mine
no,
doesn't have
we have
that.
to edit your thing.
Yeah.
We'll edit your view. But so I use a vibration on my Garmin because it's a much smoother wake up.
Subtle.
It's subtle. But also, this is kind of something that I'm evolving into, is where I'm actually going to be going away from an alarm soon. And this
'Cause you're
is
on that.
This is way deep into the process, but that's only because my circadian rhythm, everything that I do from
Another
a
big
lifestyle
word.
side of things, my circadian rhythm, which is basically my internal clock, is in such a good spot that it knows that, okay, 6 a.m., 6:30, Anthony's got to get up.
Yeah.
So I'm going to start waking him up.
Everyone, I think people kind of know. If they don't know what you're talking about, they felt it before. Whereas, like, if you don't have work one day and you end up waking up at your work time, anyway,
And
your
if-
body's so. I mean,
if
we
you
talk about
can-
this so crazy.
If you can let your internal clock wake you up, you are going to have the most peaceful wake up in the world. Because what happens is that internal clock, as it gets closer and closer to that wake time, it actually starts increasing your resting heart rate a little bit because it knows it's anticipating
Right, so you're
that
just
getting
coming
up.
out.
So it's a nice and slow
like
increase.
a little blossoming
Your
flower.
cortisol, which is just what is going to get you up and get you going, it's going to go nice and up versus when you're flatlining, you hear that alarm, boom, it just jumps. So
We never talk about this.
well, this, I mean, there's a, yeah, this could go into the morning routine thing. We'll see.
I never talked about your morning routine, so I'm going to be like one of you guys. I'm just going to sit back, ask him the questions that hopefully you were thinking anyway.
Great, I love that.
Yeah.
So, all right, so alarm is one of the biggest things. Really trying to set that up. Again, I went from the crazy loud one to actually, I went from the iPhone alarm to an iPhone vibration. That really helped. But then when I
on the nightstand? Like just
well, so I used to have it under my pillow, which is terrible.
Oh.
But this is I worked myself into it. I used to have it under my pillow, so it was a vibration under my pillow. Then it went to the nightstand, and now my phone is like on the other side of the room.
Yeah, so personally I use the alarm, but I put my phone on the other side of the room, so I have to go get up and get it.
You have to wake up to that blaring alarm.
Yep.
Then you have to get up, which is gonna spike your heart rate. So
I'm doing everything wrong.
No.
But I'm not doing everything best.
But this is the whole point. You gotta work yourself into
But
it.
I want to be the best.
This is a 4-year morning routine.
But I'm playing with the mic. Fuck.
Yeah, but you can't hear it because you're not
But
clicking.
come on, kid. Come on, kid. Be better.
Working on the alarm clock is key. And then this is easier said than
We're
done
gonna do this today.
because I'm single. I don't sleep with anyone, and I can do my own little like. Your significant other might have an alarm clock, so it makes it a little more difficult. So I just want to preface with that. So waking up, and then what do I do? First 30 minutes to an hour of the day, I am not touching my phone. My phone, I don't look at any.
I'm just thinking about alarm waking up in the morning with we're big snoozers. Like we'll sit there and snooze it all day. I'll snooze it like nonstop, and then eventually she'll go, "Are you gonna like do anything about that? Like, you can't sit here and snooze it all day." I'm like, "Leave me alone."
I actually just saw a podcast from I didn't get to listen to it yet, but from one of the people I follow, and it said literally the headline was, "The worst thing you can do is like snooze your alarm."
God,
which
damn.
I get it. I can get into that because it basically you're in a waking state, then you go back into a sleep state, but it's a light sleep state. So it just messes with that internal clock. So yeah, that's a good thing to mention.
8 minutes. The iPhone, it's like automatically 8 minutes.
That's a good thing.
I might snooze that
to
20
know.
times.
You're making the wake up harder. You really are. So I get up. I do a couple things. One, no light exposure, no artificial light exposure, and no screen light exposure.
You're no screen?
No screen for the first 30 minutes to an hour. And so let me continue because I have micro habits that because it's so hard, I have to be doing things to distract myself from it. So the micro habits, going off last episode.
That's why you don't text me back until like later in the morning.
100%.
I always thought you were just being a scumbag.
No. And I'm not sleeping in either. I'm up. So
I'm like, this kid already went for his run. I can't get a fucking text back.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. So I turn on my little red light because that's so I don't have to turn on the overhead lights because again this is all to
the red light we talked about last episode.
Yeah. This is all the circadian rhythm thing, the internal clock. I'm really just trying to optimize that so I get a smooth wake up. So I get up. First thing I do is plug in that little red light, turn my fan off, make my bed. And when I say make
his bed,
when I
little
say
military guy.
when I say make my bed, it's literally when I get out of bed, it's just like a nice little smooth pullover, and then I literally just throw it.
Yeah, that's what I do. I don't go. You go under the sheet.
I'm not a tuck guy.
Either am I. I'm not a tuck guy either. You literally just gotta throw the comforter back.
Oh, when I sleep?
Yeah, you go under the sheet.
Yeah, because I'm the coldest human you'll ever meet.
Ooh, nah. So I sleep above the sheet. Is this weird?
100%.
Is it?
Yeah.
Never mind. No, I sleep above the sheet, and then that way I just throw the comforter back on.
So I essentially do the same thing just with the sheet. I don't go crazy I'm not the military guy where I'm tucking in and everything. I literally just throw it over.
Yeah, I don't mean Lauren. Maybe I changed her. I don't go under the sheet, so she doesn't go under. I guess if I was under, she'd be under.
No.
I don't know.
Weird. So make my bed, light, fan off, make my bed. And then what I actually do, part of my micro habit distraction to not go on my phone is all like my jackets and my sweatshirts and like joggers or anything that I want to like put away but it's not dirty. I throw it on the like my little office chair so that in the morning that's when I put it all away. So I'll fold all like those clothes that aren't dirty that I want to put back in my drawers or hang back in my closet. I do that first thing. And then I begin the process of getting ready for my 5K day run. So
so still no phone yet?
No phone.
So you
I don't look at my phone until after the run.
That's nice.
Yeah. So this is about I'll say I typically wake up at 6:30. So now
you're not podcasting it or headphoning it on the run.
No.
That's
no.
right.
I'll get into
That's
that.
right. We talked about that.
I'll get into why too. So now we're about 6:45 ish. And then what I'll do is, oh, by the way, another nighttime micro habit that I do is I bring up a full bottle of water and I leave it there so that in the morning, before I go on my run, I have 20 to 30 ounces of water.
I was gonna say, I thought you were gonna say I drink it before bed.
No.
If I have like a time where I have to cut off drinking, otherwise I know I'm peeing in the middle of the night.
I'm going anyway in the middle of the night, but then at least I'm not going 3 times.
It's the worst. Are you like? Do you like I have this like thing in my head that like if I don't actually open my eyes, I'm not awake.
100%.
So I'll just
100%.
like I'll zombie to the bathroom, pee or like whatever, and then like just like zombie back, and I'm like, well, technically I didn't open my eyes, so I wasn't awake.
100%. But my routines go as far as I bought like an automatic sensor light so that it turns up, but it's like a night light, so it's not an overhead light. So it's a perfect amount of light
just
for me
like
to
a
go to the
little dim
bathroom.
lighting?
Yeah, a little dim lighting.
Yeah, because wait till you stub your toe. Those are the worst. But you don't have to. You got the light.
You gotta fight through it. Yeah, it automatically goes on.
Talk about not opening your eyes. You stub your toe, it's game over. You're up for a little while.
I'm not going back to sleep. You kidding me?
The worst.
That's just another little thing again with the whole light exposure. But so we're about 6:45 now, where I made my bed, I put my clothes away, and now I'm starting to get ready to go on my run. Still no phone. I chug my water, make sure I finish that thing before I go for my run. Even when I tell you, like, even my clothes for my run, the entire process.
Wait, are you laying stuff out the night before?
I used to, but I don't anymore.
You just got stuff ready to go.
Because in my bottom drawer, I have, like, especially now that it's warm, I have the hat, I have my gloves, I have the joggers are right next to it. Like, it's all right there.
So, no, but yes.
It's clockwork.
Yeah.
It's clockwork. So I put everything on to go for my run. And then I go downstairs. My water is finished by that point. Literally, we were talking about it in micro habits. I don't even, like, it's a step-by-step process where I'm not thinking about it. So I get downstairs, I throw on my gloves, I throw on my hat, and I'm out the front door.
Yeah.
And I run 5K. And it's a same route every single time.
I love how you just, like, throw out, I run 5K, like, it's like, nah, nothing.
It wasn't nothing in the beginning.
Yeah.
But it is nothing.
No, so, I didn't mean that in a negative.
Well, so
I
no,
that,
but
like,
I want to
it's just
emphasize
cool
this.
where you're at. You're like, yeah, just go. Like, I just run the 5K. And it's like, if I had to go run a 5K right now, like, I would hope I would get back home.
So, because it was such a non-negotiable and that I did it daily, it's not even a workout anymore. It's
I walked it a lot.
It's a micro habit.
Yeah.
It's not even a workout. It's a micro habit in the way that I don't even think about it. It's just, it's routine. It's ingrained. It's what I do, not what I have to.
It's emotionless.
It is what I have to.
It's emotionless.
Yeah, 100%. So
it's not driven by motivation.
Still not on my phone. I don't go headphones, and I don't go nothing. It's just me and my thoughts.
That's gotta be so good for your mind.
So good, and this is something that I also really, really worked my way up to, because when I first started running, absolutely not. I couldn't go for a run without headphones or something. I would listen to podcasts all the time. But I really developed and this is something we keep saying we could have a whole episode on this, but
I know that's what we were doing on the walks. We'd be like, dude, we could talk about this forever.
Yeah.
And then 5 minutes later, it's like we could talk about that forever.
I have developed such a healthy relationship with myself where I can be in my own head for forever without anything.
What did Selena Gomez say? You gotta love yourself.
Did she?
I don't know. I think it's one of her songs.
Shout out.
Shout out Selena.
So, go for my run, come back, and then after that, I'll come in. I'll go upstairs. I'll change. I'm gonna expose myself.
Oh, I
right now.
forgot you're a J Beebs guy, so I probably just pissed you off.
See, this is where I'm uncultured.
What?
I
You love Justin Bieber.
Yeah, well, I don't love him. He's a good singer, but
Yeah.
I say I don't know. Is there beef?
I don't know. I'm not in on that, but I think they used to date back in the day.
Yeah. See, this is where we don't know.
All right, go ahead.
So get back from my run, and then I'm gonna expose myself a little bit. I don't shower because at this point, I'm not gonna lie. The 5K day, I'm not especially when it's 10 degrees. I'm not sweating, and I'm getting right into my day.
Yeah.
I don't shower, and then I have a workout later that day anyway. So like I'm efficient. Let me just say that. I'm efficient. I don't.
What
smell.
did we hear? We heard his nighttime micro habits. We heard his morning micro habits. I haven't seen / heard a shower yet. So.
Oh, I shower every night.
Well, no, it wasn't in there. You had your opportunity to tell the people that, and you didn't.
You're
So,
right.
the kid doesn't shower.
I don't shower. I'm a barbarian.
Big
So I changed
big Liver King guy.
I change right away, and then I'll go back downstairs, and I make 2 drinks. It's the same drink every single. Both these drinks are the same every time.
Oh, talk to me.
Drink number 1 is same bottle, fill it up with water. I go electrolytes, 1 scoop, BP on electrolytes, and I go. Oh no, sorry, I messed up because I just changed it. I just changed my routine.
There you go. Find
I
out
just
what's
changed my
working.
routine. So what I actually used to do was I would do a scoop of electrolytes. So I'd have an electrolyte drink, and then I'll actually do coffee with collagen in it, and it was like the salted caramel collagen, so good. But as of recently, I switched it up because I like change, you know. So now I just have regular water, and then my coffee. I actually do. Have you ever heard of Element? LMNT. It's another electrolyte supplement. I do half a thing of Element because it has. I just don't need that much sodium. It has 1,000, and I only want 500. But then I also save a little bit. It's a chocolate Element. Pour half of it in my coffee.
Yeah.
12 ounce. This exact tumbler.
Yeah.
I use the same one every time, and I get my electrolytes in. I get a little chocolate flavor, a little banging.
Let me ask you this.
And by the way,
So-
that's the extent of it, because like then I just go right into work and
Okay,
grind
cool.
it out.
So,
And my first meal, by the way, let me just finish with this. I'll work for about. When I go back upstairs with my coffee and my drink, that's when I go on my phone. I'll work for about 2, 3, 4 hours, depending on whenever I have to start, and then I'll eat in between or something. Go for it.
give the people what they want. No, I'm just kidding. Give the people 3 main takeaways or 3 must-dos in the morning. Like, so say they're not going for a run in the morning. They have they got to leave for work at 7 a.m. They generally wake up at 6:30. I'm not speaking from experience, but they generally just roll out of bed, get in the shower, and then they get dressed and they go to work. I'm not saying it's me. I would never be like that. But if they, it is me. But if you would say, here's 3 things I think non-negotiable you have to do in the morning or you should do, give it to me.
No absolute, so I'm not gonna tell people what to do.
Right. I'm not going for a 5K in the morning.
What I highly recommend is what I'll say.
'Kay.
And this is kind of also getting to my why behind why I set my routine up that way. First and foremost, I think no screens, no distractions, nothing like that is.
That's
so
got to be the
important.
hardest.
It's the hardest, but it's so important.
Yeah.
Because what's most of the notifications that you get in the morning? It's probably some negative news out media, or it might be an email from work, so then you're getting stressed, or it might be a text that you don't want to, like. It's such a higher opportunity for a negative thing to come across your phone.
Mine's the boys group chat talking absolute nonsense.
Start with
3
15
a.m.
minutes, 30 minutes, whatever it is. Like once you kind of like, all right, I'm up, I'm good to go, then you can get on it. But I would say number 1, if we're going 3, number 1 is I would say like phone, media, that kind of stuff.
Stay off it. Half hour. Give you
Stay
30
off
minutes.
it. 30,
Give
yeah.
Anthony 30 minutes of your time.
2, I would say would be water first thing in the morning.
You think so?
First thing
Tell
in the
me
morning.
why.
Because, I mean, like, we all know how valuable water is.
Mhm.
We're literally water. But to start your day with 20 to 30 ounces of water, it makes it really easy to hit your daily water intake.
I got a follow up on that, but hit me with 3.
But you're quite literally hydrating yourself first thing in the morning. I got 4. 3 is morning sunlight exposure. Shout out Dr. Andrew Huberman, literally my idol. Probably why I wanted to start a podcast. Absolutely love the guy, but he is so big on this, and this goes into the whole circadian rhythm, the internal clock.
That
where,
dude's so smart.
Look, if you think way back when, first off, people were waking up with the sunlight because they didn't have actual light. So
You're going way back.
Way back. So when the sun was up, they were up. But even when there was like candles and stuff like that, like
That's true.
it was still sunlight that got them up. So and at that same time, they weren't getting up from their house, getting in their car, then going into their office, then going from their office to maybe the gym, then the gym back home. How many you're accumulating maybe 30 minutes to an hour outside? That's terrible. We went from like humans at being 90% outdoors to like 90% indoors.
Soft.
It's just not good.
Soft.
No, it's just culture change.
Yeah.
So some morning sunlight exposure, because it's gonna set your internal clock, so it's gonna wake yourself up. We can get into the whole cortisol thing that wakes your body up. It regulates your body. But then if you can, this is my 4th one, if you can add morning activity in, not only
some sort of morning activity.
a walk, a run.
So you can do
workout.
2 birds, 1 stone with a walk outside.
Absolutely. But there's 2 things with the morning activity. One with the morning activity, just getting your body moving right after you. I mean, think about it. You were just in bed for hopefully 7 to 8 hours. So you're laying down the entire time. You're sedentary. You're not doing anything. So a lot of people, what they do is they get up and they sit back down in the car. They sit back down at their chair. If you can get active after being sedentary for 8 hours, it's so important because then we're getting our muscles activated. If you want to talk like from like the food that you eat the day before, you're using the carbs that you stored, or you're like giving your body the opportunity to use the protein. So morning activity, if you can combine it with sunlight, and that is why I do the 5K a day, because it's an excuse for me to get 30 minutes of sun outside. It's an excuse for me to get that morning activity. And it just the biggest benefit to that is finding something that like sets up your day. So that I hope they don't hear that truck.
I know the thing's
Humming, dude, humming.
Yeah.
If you hear
about a gas guzzler.
If you hear, we're sorry, but there is nothing more valuable than that, especially that 5K a day. Than it sets me up for the next task, or it just sets the standard for the day. There's something coming from another book I read, Make Your Bed. Such a good book, but essentially they say that first task in the morning, in this case, is making your bed, but
right,
it's just like the streamline of micro habits. Yeah. It leads to the next. So then you go on that run. Okay, then you're more motivated to do the next task, and then you're on to the next task.
You're becoming clinical,
right?
I keep saying that word, but I love that word.
So quick little recap on the 4.
Emotionless.
No distractions in terms of like phone, media, anything like that, to avoid negativity. Try to avoid artificial light, including your phone. Water in the morning, and then sunlight and morning activity as well.
Let me follow up, because I think a lot of people have this, and I did at one point, and I want to ask you if it's a myth or not. Yeah, and maybe you don't know. I don't know. I used to wake up and immediately press brew on the coffee, and drinking the coffee right off the rip. I've heard something like about a year ago, and it changed my habit, and it could be an absolute myth, that like you shouldn't have coffee for like the first 45 minutes, because you should. I don't even know what the reasoning was, but is that real?
So they say 90 minutes. So Huberman actually is one that
that's what I think. That's
talks about this. Yeah. I looked into it a little bit more, and I actually just saw something recently come out that saying that it's not true or whatever. So research wise, I don't know.
Damn, I thought I was so locked in. I was like,
I would say
I don't have coffee at all for 45 minutes. You know why? Because I'm better than you.
I will say it's a feel thing, number one. But the reasoning behind this is, we talked about cortisol a little bit. What caffeine does is it raises your cortisol.
Right.
So it's not that it's gonna be like bad or anything. It's kind of pointless, because your peak cortisol throughout the day is that first thing in the morning, that first 45 minutes to 90 minutes. So by having caffeine, having a stimulant, you're not raising it anymore. So it's kind of just not doing anything. So like, I'm not
You
trying
have
to
it after
avoid.
your run, right?
Yeah,
So
but I'm not on the clock. Like I'm not
Yeah,
waiting
yeah.
for it.
Yeah.
But at least okay, well, I'm doing a run. I'm doing morning activity that spikes your cortisol. It's already peaked. Like I don't need it.
Yeah.
So then, again, creating distractions. That was just all these micro habits was a good distraction to not have my coffee until after. But then also I kind of like create a reward around it too.
Yeah.
But I did not used to do that. I used to. What I will say is, what I used to always do is because I was always thinking about that 90 minutes thing because
You heard it,
I'll
right?
do everything that Huberman says.
Yeah.
But I was like, all right, well, I'm not going to do that. But what I will promise myself I'll do is I'll have that 20 to 30 ounces of water.
Gotcha.
So you don't have, I don't think you have to delay it, but what you really, really should think about doing is having that 20 to 30 ounces of water before coffee or before caffeine.
It was in your big four.
It's so important.
I'm gonna incorporate that.
It's just
I have to.
The best
negotiable.
way you can stick to it is setting it up at night. So like if I don't have my water there, all right, well now I gotta there's an extra step. I gotta go downstairs.
You
I
might forget it.
And this is another thing too, just like a little side thing that I found to help me continue that habit is I set up the night before because then it's also warm in the morning, so I can just chug it.
Oh, true.
When I have to go downstairs and I drink it so much slower because it's cold. Again, just stupid things, but these stupid things are you'll start finding that, and this goes into any morning routine or anything else, that you're like, oh my gosh, this like helps in some weird way. It helps me stick to it.
Is there a time when you throughout the day where you set, and I know the answer, so I'm just setting it up. I don't know why I'm being a weirdo, but I've seen it come across like on your school. Like there's a time of day when you stop drinking coffee. Like you have a caffeine curfew.
Oh, this one was so hard, dude.
Yeah, I was
So
like, let me
That was a great-
let me act like I don't know what I'm talking about. I was like, I've seen it. You like
So-
what do you is it 12?
No, so let me expose myself first. I absolutely love coffee. I don't go a day without it. And
Trying to
you
check.
got somewhere to be?
No, I was trying to check if this curfew lines up.
Oh, so let me get into that.
Yeah.
This is fun. This is
I
fun.
was
What
like
time is it?
12:36.
All right, perfect.
I was gonna say.
So-
I thought. What time is it?
I love this. This is so important. So
I got nowhere to be, Bob. I'm all yours.
first things first is I love coffee so much,
So
and
good.
I'm not the type like I grew up. I've been drinking coffee with my grandparents since I was like 10 or 11 years old. But when we drank coffee, it was after an Italian dinner. Everyone was sitting around the table, and that's when the coffee came out. How you done?
Cutlets.
So I never had a problem
you
with
doing?
going to sleep with caffeine in my system, but when I started learning all this from Huberman, I realized that okay, no, it's not causing me to stay awake, but it's affecting my
Your sleep, yeah.
Like it's affecting what stages of sleep. You can't get into deep sleep. So it was just like no reason for it.
So hit me with it.
So then I started cutting it back. So the first curfew that I made was 6 p.m. Again, this was how I worked myself back. I had to start somewhere because I love coffee. I started this in grad school too. So it was first 6
Oh,
p.m.
that long ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't realize that.
6 p.m. was first. Then I got used to that for a while, and I was like, all right, let's keep going back a little
Yeah,
bit.
were you pushing that limit? Were you there at 5:30 drinking a coffee?
I would fill. I'm not kidding you. Especially in the beginning, this happened every time I set a new curfew. I would fill up at 30 minutes before, and just literally for no reason other than my curfew's coming up. I
Yeah.
would just try to get another one in. So 100%. Then I went from 6 p.m. to 2 p.m. 1:30, slugging the last one. But I was so disciplined that like seriously, if it was 2:01,
Yeah.
and I still
That was
I'm
it.
dumping it.
Yeah.
I'm not having it. Then I slowly kept, and I would go like probably like a month at a time at a curfew, and then go to the next one. I was on 2 p.m. for a while, probably like 3 months because it was
Oh, you're past 2 p.m. or before 2 p.m.
before because that was a tough one.
Where you at?
Because the afternoon. No, I'm gonna keep
I
going,
know.
working
I
back.
know.
And then because I really want to emphasize this point that on this because this is how I was able to keep cutting these back. So 2 p.m. took a while, and then I went from 2 p.m. to 12, right? And the 2 p.m. to 12 was so hard, dude, because that afternoon coffee hits
I know,
different.
it's nice.
It hits different
It's like
because
it's an afternoon treat.
it's an afternoon treat, and especially after lunch, like if you're craving a little something extra after lunch,
True.
or a little something.
I always hit one.
It was coffee.
I always
for me,
hit one.
Right? So this was really hard for me, and this one took a while for me to get used to.
So you just mean caffeine in general? Like you're not hitting caffeine for your afternoon workouts?
No. Any caffeine.
Because there's a lot of pre-workout guys out there.
Yeah, I love pre-workout,
Yeah.
but it was a really tough change. But so what I did, because that was so hard at the noon one, was I would give myself a little cheat on the weekends. And I still do it
let's
to this
go.
day, right? So my weekends...
What, we got till 2?
So I don't really have a weekend curfew, but since I'm so far into it, like there's a point where I'm like, all right, I don't need that.
I like that.
It's usually like I probably still won't have it past 4 p.m.
The kid
or
cheats
something.
too.
So we talked about a little bit. What episode? We talked a little bit about cheat meals and stuff like that. I think that was 3.
Yeah.
So I give myself a little cheat on the weekend. I earn it because I don't have it during the week.
Let's
where
go.
Saturday and Sunday, I will have coffee
Sunday.
anytime. Sunday. Today's Sunday. So that I stuck to 12 p.m. for a while. And then after that, like that was kind of like my last real curfew. Where as of recently, it's just been like getting earlier and earlier. Where I'll have like I'll have that one right after my run in the morning, which is around like 8-ish, I would say. And then maybe I'll have another one at 10 or 11. But sometimes I'm out the door and I'm already gone, so I won't have one. So 12 p.m. was like my last coffee curfew, but I think the biggest thing coming out of that was...
Yo, it's really messing with your sleep.
It destroys
More than you
it.
know.
So caffeine has what's
I
called...
can't wait till we do sleep because I think it's so important.
So caffeine stays in your system for about 10 to 12 hours. So what I started doing when I was thinking about my curfew, I was like, okay, this is my bedtime. Let me go 10 to 12 hours before that, and that's when I have to stop my caffeine intake.
Gotcha.
Because then again, it gets to the point where it doesn't affect my sleep, like going to sleep, but it'll affect the stages of sleep that I'm getting, which are going to affect everything, like sleep, everything, literally everything. So that was a big piece of me. So like, again, going back to the question, I wouldn't say that with the lane, it's all by feel. And then once you really get into it, you can combine going by feel with some of the research that like we do know. Like we know caffeine stays in our system for this long and all that. But that was key for me, 100%.
Yeah. Listen, I think if we're gonna wrap it up, I think
that's it.
I think the best thing, because I think we hit on the morning routine. I think you did a really good job of hitting like what you recommend, but like why you recommend it. So try to do something that's not going to raise your stress immediately. And he talked about some stuff that does do that, which is the alarm, the phone, right? It's going to raise your stress right off the rip. So I think that's a big thing that you're now looking out for. So create habits worked off what he said. So little to no stress, get some sunlight, and get a little bit of activity in. There were 4. Oh, drink water. So reduce stress. He gave you some ways to do that, but read it. What works for you? What works for you? Reduce stress, get some sunlight, drink some water. You're going to let me figure this one out in my head? Get activity in.
Activity. And change it. Change your morning routine.
Do what works. What you find works, do it.
Change it. In grad school, I used to read every morning. And then I was like, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
I used to go to the gym for change it. The biggest thing about micro habits and these morning routines is finding these little speed bumps, finding these little things that are, and it could be something so stupid as like, for example, when I talk about journaling and how I really couldn't get in a good routine with it, it was something so stupid as like, I didn't like that I had to open up my iPad, create a new, like these little things that like create traction, and then you don't do it. You got to identify those, get rid of them, and change it.
But that's that's one of the points I was trying to say. Even though you changed it, from the examples you just gave, you kept it in the same framework as I'm not going to raise my stress. I'm not going to open up my screen. I'm going to drink water, and I'm going to get some activity in. You talked about lifting. You don't do that in the morning anymore, but you talked about that. That was your activity. Didn't work for you, so you switched to something else. You read. You were off the screen. You were doing something off the screen. So you were under the same framework of stuff that you wanted to hit, but you changed on what habit actually contributed to that.
And last thing on this is when you fall off your morning routine and you're not consistent with it, change it.
Right.
And this is going to mostly happen on the weekends.
It's going to affect the rest of your day.
One thing that I want to add real quick too on the wake up thing, and this will come back on the sleep episode, is every day, weekends too.
What?
I wake up at the same time.
Oh.
The reason I was able to stick
You
to
got to get your body in that rhythm.
The reason I am so consistent with my morning routine is because it doesn't matter what day of the week it is. This morning, I did the same routine, dude. And it's a Sunday.
Sunday.
Now, I adapted a little bit because I knew I was coming here a little earlier. So I did everything. And then, like, the tasks after my set routine, after my run and everything, that changed a little bit. But every day.
Are we going to have some fun today? Why? Why not?
Because I'm going to...
We're going to be around people we enjoy being around.
Right.
In a great environment.
Great
Watch
people.
this. Watch him talk himself out of
Well, we gotta explain it real quick.
why he's not going to have fun. You're going to explain why you're not going to have fun. And just tell me if it's an excuse. Go ahead. You're going to be around people you love. Fact. You're going to be
Hanging out.
chilling. What more could you want on a Sunday?
Not the Eagles to be playing for the Super Bowl. And watching the game around people rooting for that team. I'm sorry.
I think you checked the hater box.
But I'll do anything for you, Cars.
Let's go. What's your ideal matchup? Because if I test this out right, this episode will be coming out the day after the Super Bowl. What are you hoping we just watched?
For this game, the semis, what's the spread? Do you know?
I think it's for ours.
Yeah.
I think it's like 6.
Yeah?
I think the Chiefs are like -2. I don't know.
Here's my prediction.
Oh, hit me with it. So they'll be the day after the Super Bowl here.
This is what I want,
What's
not
the
what
Super
I
Bowl
think.
matchup?
This is what I want, not what I think.
Here we go.
Well, I want the Bills. I really want the Bills to win. I love Josh Allen, big Josh Allen guy. So I want the Bills to win the Super Bowl. Go Commanders.
Wow.
100%. What do you think?
They're in your division too.
Good.
Oh my.
And
God.
I want them to win. I want them to smack you.
All right. So who do you want the Bills? You want the Bills Commanders? And
I
then
want the Bills to be the Commanders.
Bills to be the Commanders in the Super Bowl. Give me a score.
Of the Bills Commanders?
Yeah. Well, the hypothetical.
Of Bills Commanders, it's going to be 38-12.
38-12?
Yeah.
So listen to what he just said. He's such a big a hater that he would like to see a 38-12 Super Bowl. That's not even a game. 38-12.
It's a great game because Eagles aren't in
I'm
it.
out. I'm pissed now. 6, 5?
This was 5.
See you
Was it?
See you at
Yeah.
episode 6.
Appreciate everyone watching.
Peace.
Wait.
I could say it?
Yeah.
Go Birds.
No. No. Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.
Peace.
Peace.